Hey guys, it is MissSimReno. If you are returning to the channel, welcome back. And if you're brand new, I am very excited that you decided to join me here today for another speed build. And we are going a little bit off kilter here. We are not doing a spooky or fall themed build whatsoever. We are actually building in Oasis Springs today, and I wanted to do a build with the new Desert Luxe kit. Now, this kit was free until I want to say October 17th. I know my video is coming out as it is no longer free, so that feels like a trap, and I'm sorry. But this is $4.99, I want to say US dollars. The kits are little like bite-sized pieces of content that you can download just like any other pack. I mean, they're like stuff packs, game packs, expansion packs, things like that, but they are a lot smaller and they usually focus on like create a sim, build and buy, or gameplay. And this was a build and buy kit. It was actually designed in partnership with Avalon, who is a fantastic builder and simmer on YouTube. You guys should, of course, check her out if you do not know who she is, but I'm sure you do because she's fantastic. And she helped them build all of these, design all of these different elements for this kit. So it was really, really cool. And since the base game, Sims 4 base game, is now free, actually, as of October 18th, this might be a great little bite-sized piece of content that you might want to add to your game. So I figured I would do a little build with it. But I will also mention this is not base game and Desert Luxe kit exclusive. I did use all of the packs. So you know what? After my long ramble, maybe it was kind of pointless. All I'm trying to say is I was excited to build with these objects because I have wanted to build kind of like an Adobe-style home for a really long time. They're really difficult for me. You can see that I struggled with the shape of this build to begin with. I was working off of a few different reference photos from Pinterest and Google Images. I didn't save all of them. I'm going to see if I can find one or two. I'm really bad about this. I always say I'm going to include them in my builds if I was using a reference photo. But what I typically do, and I don't know if anybody else does this, but I try to keep my desktop clean. I say try because I'm really bad at it, but when I find images to work off of for a build, I do save them to a particular folder. However, I have a really bad habit of deleting them the second the build is done. And when I say done, I don't mean the video done and being up on YouTube. I mean literally when I finish the build, I'm like, good, get this off of my desktop. So I don't often save them, but I will try to find them. If I can, they will be on screen. If I can't, that is why. But you can see that we're trying to figure out the shape here, and I really wanted to make sure that I figured out the yard space because a lot of these items are, I believe, meant to kind of be used in outdoor spaces, but there's a great combination of items that can be used for interiors or exteriors, which I really, really appreciated. We actually got, technically speaking, I think we got 2 couches with this kit, which is kind of fantastic. So I wanted to make sure that there was like an outside lounge area, and I wanted to also use some of those items on the interior as well. But you can see that we're kind of shaping out this yard space. I don't feel as though I'm very good at building in Oasis Springs, especially not building things that are more so, I guess, I'll say like desert themed, because I feel like the landscaping is really hard for me. It's either kind of minimalist and very symmetrical. That's what I was kind of going for. My landscaping is typically not very symmetrical, and it's usually a bit unkempt and chaotic. That's my preferred style because I feel like it looks more natural. So I kind of struggled with landscaping here, but I think I found a way to strike somewhat of a balance with all of these succulents and cacti and agave plants and everything that really fit into this world. I used a lot of the debug items from Strangerville actually to do the landscaping because we got some fantastic ones with that game pack. And I also switched out the fencing to this debug fence, which I thought was really, really pretty. It's actually a base game debug fence, I believe, and I want to say that this one is specifically seen in Oasis Springs. So I thought it fit really, really nicely. I did use the tool mod just to kind of get rid of some of the glitching that happens when you use and overlap debug pieces like this. If you actually shrink them down, and I learned this from watching my very dear friend, Aiden, i.e. Devin Bumpkin, he will actually size things down with the tool mod to like 0.999 or something like that. It sizes it down just enough where it doesn't glitch out with the piece that it's overlapping with. Genius, literally a genius way to go about it. So that is pretty much what I did. And then I just tried to work on more of the landscaping. I was able to use that extra little nook as like a little outside garbage can, which I thought was fantastic. And just trying to make things look natural, but also pretty manicured and pretty symmetrical. It felt a little bit overwhelming at first with the landscaping that I did. Like these agave plants really pulled my eye in, and I thought it was a bit too much. I don't particularly remember what I ended up really doing with them, but it ended up working, I suppose. But now we're going on to the interior, trying to figure out the floor plan. So this is only a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom home. I did know going into it was going to be fairly small, and I kind of went with a darker color scheme for this home, which is a bit out of my comfort zone, mainly because when I say darker color scheme, I mean using a lot of black and then darker wood tones. Now, I personally love dark wood tones, but I couple it with a lot of like warm colors. I also went with, I want to say like a stucco wall, which was very gray, and that was really uncomfortable for me, but I think I found a way to really make it work, and I really enjoyed what I ended up coming up with. Now, the bedroom is a bit of an odd shape. I also tried to sink the bed into the floor a bit, so it kind of looked like it was laying on the floor, and then I used these drab slabs, I think is what they're called, from Spade. Yeah, Spade. I was going to say Spade out or something. That's not right. But Spade, and I tried to make just like a custom little footboard to make it blend with the color scheme a bit more. It kind of sort of works. You can still see the orangish color of the wood on other parts of the bed, but I did really like how it came out, and I tried to get a little bit creative with, I guess, like lighting and how things were going to be laid out. I didn't overclutter this build at all. I wanted it to be fairly minimal. I wasn't going for an actual like minimalist style by any means, but I didn't want it to be super cluttered. I wanted it to be pretty crisp and clean, but still pretty cozy. Now, these curtains here, as well as the adjustable like pieces of the curtain rods, if you will, these are amazing. It's probably my favorite part of this kit, all in all, because you can create custom curtain lengths, basically. Is it lengths? Widths. It's the widths, not the lengths. I didn't end up using them, I don't think, in the interior that much. I did use them on the exterior, though, and it's really just because I was really getting familiar with how to use them. So I didn't use them in ways that I might now, because I was really just trying to learn a little bit more about them. But the dresser is over here. And then this is one of the chairs that came with the kit. I think it is so pretty and very simple. Actually, it goes really well with some of the more, I would call them contemporary dining chairs that we got with the base game update. Oh, some time ago, maybe a year or two ago at this point. They were designed by Hey Harry. So those match really nicely. Now, I think one thing I didn't give the family that lives here, I'll say the couple. This would be ideal for like a couple or a single sim, but I don't think I gave them an actual dining table. I think they have outdoor dining and that's it. And I think I'm just remembering this, and it's embarrassing. Oh well. You could squeeze one in if you wanted to. I wanted to really focus on the living room being this nice big cozy space, and I completely overlooked it. And the kitchen is a little bit bigger. I'd say there's a lot more counter space than I would typically put in a build this size, but you'll see it when we get to it. We're almost done with the bedroom here. I was just trying to find a rug that I thought would match, but wouldn't, I guess, overwhelm the different pattern that was in the chair or like the color scheme. I just really wanted to make sure everything matched. I also put a piece of artwork over there, and then I used the new lights that came with the kit as well, though I did shrink them down. I want to say once with the shift bracket key, just because they were really big, and for my liking for the short wall height, they hung a little bit too low for me. Might not bother you, but for me, I was like, it's a little bit low. So I did shrink them down a little bit, and then I used this little shelf. I can't remember if this is an actual functioning bookshelf from that new kit or if it was just a console table. Either way, I loved it, so I used it over there. I also used the new fireplace, and I did shrink it down so it could fit on the interior. You can kind of tell from the top that it is meant to be outside, but I really liked it, and I wanted to use it as a focal point on the interior too, so I did. You can get rid of it and swap it out if you want, but I really liked it. And this is also the couch that came with the kit, and I used it in very neutral swatches, though I will say I love some of the I'll say colorful swatches of the couch. There's like a pink and maybe like kind of a dusty yellowish, like sandy color as well. I think they're really pretty. She didn't go, Evelyn and the Sims team didn't go like super colorful with it because I think neutrals were really the focus. I thought it came out so nicely. I loved the neutrals because what it allows me to do, or at least I feel like I can do this, is I can add pops of color in other pieces of furniture or decorations, and it really livens up the space. So that's something that I really enjoyed. And then over there is going to be the one and only bathroom. So they do have just a shower, not a shower tub combo. Again, this wouldn't necessarily be ideal for a couple of Sims maybe that want to expand their family because there really just isn't room currently in the house to do that. It's not really equipped for toddlers or children per se, but it could be a great place for, again, a single Sim or a couple who don't plan on having children and just kind of want their nice own, I would say somewhat luxurious, small little adobe in Oasis Springs. But now we're working on the kitchen, and I did end up using, I want to say, the Dream Home Decorator counters, which I feel like I haven't used in a long time. I did kind of make it a galley kitchen, and there's like this big island in the middle, which I believe has a stove top and a few other things. Now, unfortunately, I don't think I even filmed the outside, which is a focal point of most of the objects, which is super embarrassing. But there's like this really nice patio space outside as well as outdoor dining. And I think it really matches the entire aesthetic of this build. So hopefully you all enjoyed this. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts. I'm sorry I can't show you the outside because I forgot to film it. But I will catch you next time I post a video, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.
Run a few miles down a desert road. Stare too long at a teakwood rose. Get to fixing something that's been broken. Go get lost in a little town. Get dressed up and just drive around. Get both feet on some solid